Hello guys, welcome back to Football Manager 2023, our epic quest across Europe to win every top 5 tier in the European nations in the game. We are currently in our 11th nation as the manager of FC Voluntari in the Romanian First League, but we have reached 1,000 games in management in our journey. It's been a fantastic journey. We're going to have a quick sort of run through of our career so far in this save across all the teams that we've managed. We're also then going to have a look back at what we've done this season in Romania, and then we're going to play a game. It's going to be a little bit of a slightly longer episode today. I'll try and keep it as short as I can. But, you know, 1,000 games in management is quite some achievement. You can see in that time we have won 640 of those games. Of the 999 that we've played, we've drawn 158, lost 201. We've scored 2,378 goals, conceded 1,209. for a positive goal difference of 1,169 with a 64% win ratio, which has been fantastic. We've picked up 25 team trophies in that time and 13 personals. So, Talentai reaches 1,000 games in management. We started off way back in 2022 as the manager of Kodringa. Now, Kodringa themselves currently find themselves in the second division, I think that is, in Iceland. Kodringa, obviously after we left them, they did get relegated. Now, way back when I started this series, I didn't actually record any live games, so unfortunately I haven't got any footage of our first game in charge of Kodringa. We did, in our first season though, way back in 2022, we did finish second in the first tier, and we got promoted to the Premier division in Iceland, at which point we left the club. And we became the manager then of Leiknir. Now, we had a good run at Leiknir. They are still in the Icelandic Premier Division. I don't think they've won it since we did. We won it in our first season here way back in 2023. I know they've won it in 2024, and they're currently the defending champions in Iceland as well. Now, Leiknir was a fantastic club for us. They took us to our first league title in this season, which was really, really good. We are not listed in the icons though, which you think we would be, you know, after bringing such success to the club. Now, I did record our first game in charge at Leiknir. We took on KR away from home. As you can see here, we picked up a fantastic 1-0 victory. Some of the players that we had here, I really don't remember any of them, if I'm being entirely honest. It's been such a long time. We're now sort of 26 years into our save. All of these players more than likely have be retired now. Unfortunately, I do remember Emil Berger though. I remember signing Emil Berger, the man who's picked up the man of the match performance there. So that was the first title that we picked up. It was Leiknir. It was a fantastic time at the football club. After Leiknir, we moved on to, it will be Wales. In fact, it was indeed Wales. There we go. We picked up the Icelandic Premier Division in 2023. So after leaving Leiknir, we took charge at Port Talbot in Wales. They, again, when we took over, they were a second tier side, and we brought success to the club in the JD Cymru South. The one that they've won is the one that we won with them. We went on and picked up the league title there in 24-25 to gain a promotion to the JD Cymru Premier, which in terms of how they've done in the Premier, they've been consistently a top 3 club in the nation of Wales. They've actually picked up 2 more titles since we've left. TNS still been pretty much dominant, but we won it here in 26-27 with a great result over TNS. And then consistently after that, Port Talbot have not been outside the top 3. It's been great. Like I say, they've picked up 2 more league titles. They're still playing in the same stadium, I believe. Where are they? There they are. Victoria Road. Yeah, Victoria Road. They're still playing there. A 3,000 capacity stadium. But they've done very well. They've got 2.94 million in the bank. Again, we're not really going to remember any of the players from back then. There was such a long time ago. And our first game in Wales as the manager of Port Talbot was a 0-0 draw against Llanelli Town. A game in which was very, very close. Again, really don't remember the players. Kyle Cooper, who picked up the man of the match, I maybe remember signing him. Eric Bannon, I remember Eric Bannon. He scored a lot of goals for us. But again, it was another decent start to life at a nation. Of course, this was in the JD Cymru South where we started off. But as we all know, we did go on to pick up the league title that season. It then took us a couple of years to get over the line in the Premier to topple TNS. But in the end, we did topple TNS, which was absolutely fantastic. Their key player now is Carwyn Farmer, who looks okay for a player who plays in Wales. He's quite decent. So we did win the JD Cymru Premier with Port Talbot. They've now got 3 of them in total. After winning that, we headed over to Northern Ireland, where we became the manager of Anna United. Now, when we took them over, they were in the second tier in Northern Ireland, the Luff 41 Championship, which we went on to win there in 27-28, which was fantastic. And we did move on after that, though, from Anna, and they did unfortunately go back down. But as you can see, they've come up a few times over the course of the years, and they do now find themselves in the Dansk Bank Premier. So after leaving Anna, which we did obviously to try and get ourselves a better team, we became the manager of Glenarvan, and we had a fantastic time at Glenarvan. Matthias Nabe is still listed here. He's only 35. No, he's not 35. He retired at 35, but he's one of our signings. He went on to score 345 goals in 565 appearances for the club. Antonius Whitlow, another one of ours, who is now actually a head of youth development, but he's another one who had a fantastic career at Glenarvan, picking up a lot of appearances over the years. We actually signed him for Anna, and then we brought him to Glenarvan with us. But we did go on to win the title with Glenarvan. Again, we're not listed in here, any of the legends or the icons, but another team who's got a lot of money in the bank. And in terms of Dansk Bank Premier divisions, we won it here in 29-30. They've then gone on to again win a few, consistently be in the top 2 or 3 places in the league table. So we have actually improved these clubs as we've been going along. We've been turning them into forces. So we won the Dansk Bank Premiership in 2030 and the Northern Irish Cup in 2029, the Mid Ulster Cup in 29 and 30 as well. And then we left to go to the Republic of Ireland and Bohemians. Now again, Bohemians were a team who we took over in the second tier of Ireland in the Irish First Division. But again, we won the title. It was Bohemians here in 2031. We were promoted and we went straight on to win the title again in 2032. And again, we've turned Bohemians into a top 3 side consistently. Shamrock Rovers had a decent run there, but Bohemians most recently have toppled Shamrock Rovers again. So we won in 2032. They've then gone on to win a further 4 titles, which is great. Obviously finishing in 2nd and 3rd along the way. So another team that we've had great success at. We're not listed here in any of these. Unfortunately, Emmanuel Schwab, one of our players who's now a manager, but he had a fantastic career with us, did the Austrian. We signed him for £20,000. He scored 21 goals. He never quite got to that heights again, other than 10 years later, where he picked up 25 goals, but it's another fantastic signing. Alan Finnessy was there when we got there. He spent his entire career at Bohemians, 593 appearances. And then our leaving presence to them was Gregorio Legramandi. He's now retired as well, but he did really, really well for the club as well. So we took charge at Bohemians, where we stayed until January 2033. As during our tenure, we won the Irish Premier Division in 32, the Irish First Division in 31. We also won the Irish Senior Challenge Cup in both years we were there, and we won the All-Ireland Champions Cup as well in 2032. So after leaving Bows, we went to Spartaks in Latvia, in the Optibet Versliga, another team that we've changed the fortunes of. I think they were like an up and down yo-yo sort of team at the time when we took them over. They're decent financially as well. Again, another team who has gone on to have considerable success. They've not won it since we did in 2035, but they've consistently again been a top 3 side. Riga, of course, a dominant team in Latvia, but again, we're not listed in the icons, the favoured personnel. 2 of our players though, and Disimo Banda, spent a lot of time in Latvia, did very, very well, retired quite early on at the age of 32. Pereira, another one of ours, now a scout, the Brazilian there, but again, he's another one who's had a good career after we signed him on a free transfer, picking up 175 goals. The vast majority of them for Spartak's. Played a lot of football, excellent average ratings throughout his career at Spartak's. Just a shame they didn't go on to win another title. But we did win the Optibet Versliga, as it says here. We Optibet Versliga in 2035, so it took us 3 seasons. We won the Latvian Cup in 2035 as well, so we did a League Cup double as well. And after Latvia, it was Finland. Finland were next up. We took on SJK as the manager. Again, we're not listed in the icons, so we've done so much for these clubs, but they don't seem to consider us favoured personnel. Maybe we're not there long enough, to be honest. But again, another club who found success in Europe, which is obviously financially stabilised the club. A lot of these clubs, when we come in, they don't have any money, anything like that. But we did go on to win the Finnish Premier Division with SJK in 2038. They then followed it up after we left with another one in 2039, and that was the last time they won it. But again, they've consistently been in there or thereabouts. Honk had a decent spell. HJK have sort of returned to the top after a 12-year break of not winning it. But again, SJK was another team that we did really, really well with. David Barrios was there when we got there, the Colombian, who we did actually move on to Bogotá when we got there. I don't recognise any of the other players who are listed here. So none of our players there are listed in the legends. But as it says down here, we had a brief spell in charge of SJK between 2036 and 2038. So again, it took us 3 seasons. But we won the Finnish Cup in 38 and the Finnish Premier League in 38 as well. So again, a League and Cup double. After leaving the SJK, we took charge of Alumni in Slovenia. Now Alumni, another one of our teams who we've left in a great place. Favoured personnel, 2 of our signings. Roxek was one of ours. Quintero was one who we left the club with. Chelis is one who I've tried to sign a couple of times among different clubs, but he's now a manager, unemployed. He had a fantastic career. He actually came back and scored some European goals against us when we've come on to face them in European competition in Alumni. Another one who had a great career, Jaman as well, is now a manager as well. Another one who had a great career after he left, or when we brought him to Slovenia. He had a great career with us. He sort of tailed off after we left. So yeah, Alumni, we won the league title in 24-35. They were another sort of yo-yo team. They did win it in 22-23 when I first started the save. So it wasn't first time winners. They had a decent spell at the end of the 2010s as well. But they were something of a yo-yo club when we took over. So 29-30, they won the league actually. Okay, they've obviously had a bad spell after that because I think they'd just been promoted when we took over. I could be wrong there though, it was a while ago, but we won the league in 2034-35. They haven't won another one since, and they've sort of really struggled to get into the top 3, but they're another team who've got a decent bank balance. Stojanovic, was he one of my signings? Yes, Stojanovic, he's still playing. So one of my signings is still playing. He's the player we had in on loan from Tabor Zanza for 2 seasons before making his signing permanent. And he's been an ever-presence in the squad since we got there. Look, you can see Alumni have actually been relegated, so they're no longer in the top flight. In fact, that's what I'm looking at there. Did they win any more first leagues after that? That was right. Apologies, I've got it wrong. I was looking at the second division there. We won it in 2041-42, toppling Maribor, which was a fantastic achievement. We've then, they've come third, they've come second. So they've come second as short a while ago as 2 years ago. 2 years ago they come second in the Slovenian First League, and now they find themselves in the Second League. So not too sure what's happened there at Alumni. Obviously something drastic has happened. But after leaving Alumni, where we did win the Slovenian First League title in 2042, we were also the manager of Slovenia, which we didn't do very well at. But we found our way into Slovakia with Poprad. Now, Poprad we were at for a very, very short amount of time. Half a season, I'd say, but they've got some decent money in the bank. Have they ever actually got themselves out of the Slovak second division? When we took over, they were newly promoted, but no, it doesn't look like they have. But we did bring some players in when we were there, including some Brazilians. I wonder if there's any of them still in the squad. No, the full squad of Slovakians now again, so all of the progress that we made with Poprad seems to have gone, but there was just sort of a stopgap to get us into Slovakia, where we moved on to become the manager of Pod Brezova. Now, Pod Brezova, we did, again, very, very well with. We did take on Slovan Bratislava. We defeated them to the title in 2044-45. They've not been in the top three again since. They sort of dropped straight off again after we did win the title, but we did bring success to them. We brought European football. And as you can see, they do have some money in the bank, which is fantastic. So we won the first division title in 2045. We were then moved over to Poland and Wisla Krakow, where we did win the league title. Now, when we took over, they finished third the season before. Elian Murillo was one of our signings. He's very, very good, valued at anywhere between £350,000 and 5.8 million. He scored 50 goals in 92 appearances as a Colombian. He was a good signing for the club. In terms of the Ekstraklasa league title, when we took over, they had just finished third. We then managed to just go that little bit better and get them to win the league, beating Legia to the title. Legia have returned to the top again with Wisla Krakow coming in third place since both the seasons that we've left. But again, we're in the favoured personnel. We've made it to somebody's favoured personnel. Great. Diego Corgi, another one of our signings. The Swiss is still at Wisla Krakow, 22 goals in 37 appearances. It's not too bad. It doesn't look like he's playing too much. In fact, he didn't play at all last season, and he's only made 2 appearances this season. He scored 17 goals in 24 games for us, though, when we were there. So we had a brief spell in charge of Wisla Krakow between June 2045 and June 2046. So we were there for 1 year. During his 10-year talented team won the PKO Bank Polska Ekstraklaska in 2046 and the Polish FA Cup in 2046. So we then again did the League and Cup double. We've then most recently been the manager of MTK Budapest. Now, because this was only last season, the Hungarian First Division is still loaded. So a lot of the players, obviously, are still ours. It was only last season. They're currently in second place, quite some way behind Ferencváros, it must be said, but they're comfortably ahead of Vasas in third place. So again, we've done something decent at a club, MTK. We've left them with a little bit of money in the bank. They will have had European football this season, where they unfortunately didn't actually qualify. They were knocked out by KR of Iceland, believe it or not. They didn't get through the Champions League, they didn't get through the UEFA League, and they didn't get through into the Conference League. So unfortunately they are out of that. They're still in the Cup though in the 5th round. They've had a couple of dodgy results, which Ferencváros getting beat 2-1 there. That was their first defeat of the season though. They've only actually lost 2 games in the league all season, which just tell you how good Ferencváros are in that nation of Hungary. So that's 10 nations that we've knocked off, guys. Like I say, most recently MTK. And we are now currently the manager of FC Voluntari in Romania, where things have gone extremely well in the opening 2/3 of the season. You may see at the top of the league, the screen there, it does say that we are currently in first place in the table. In terms of schedule, so last time you were here was the win over UTA Arad. Disappointing only to win 1-0. We did then take on Steaua Bucharest, who came to our place. We beat them 2-1. It was touch and go. It was a game in which we were totally dominant in. We've hit the woodwork 3 times again. Tofan and Kostash with the goals. Aiga got one back late on for Steaua Bucharest. But a good, nice, comfortable win, 2-1. Cluj, who were sat in second in the table at the time, or possibly top of the table, we went on to beat them 3-2. Husic gave us lead in the 7th minute before Cluj through a Magdi put Cluj 2-0 up 6 and 24 minutes before we had a little bit of a late comeback. Atanasoe and Marvin Toms with the goals. Again, we were probably the better team. We haven't hit the woodwork in this one. They have, though. They've hit the woodwork twice. But XG-wise, shots-wise, possession-wise, corners, stuff like that, we were much, much better. And it was Steaua Bucharest again in the Cup in the 6th round, so we've won 2-0 there. We then picked up a shock defeat to FC Argas. We went to their place, battered them and got beat 1-0. we got FM'd really. Apostle Ftini with the goal. Dragonia was sent off in the 87th minute for us. By that time it was too late though. We did concede in the 14th minute. And it was very, very disappointing to lose that game. Unfortunately, we have lost another one later down here as well. But we did bounce back from that one with a 2-0 win over FC Rapid, which is fantastic. Tofan and Atanasoy with the goals in this one. Again, we've absolutely dominated them. We've hit the woodwork again. We hit the woodwork a lot in Romania for whatever reason. Dinamo Bucharest, next up, a 1-0 win. Saba with a penalty in the 41st minute. Should have had a lot more goals. Again, we've hit the woodwork twice. We've battered them in terms of XG shots. Their striker didn't even have a look in. And our youngster, Bogdan Ioni, has played very, very well in the centre of defence. He is improving rapidly as well, is the 17-year-old. He's still listed as a promising centre-back. He's a very, very good player. Just needs to work on his consistency. It does say here that he's currently operating at a Liga 2 level as well, which he's doing in the Premiership, or the First Division, the Superliga for us. After Bucharesti, it was Brasov, the team who we took on the opening day of the season, and it was a bit more comfortable this time. Tofan, Atanasoy and Kostashi with the goals again. Another game in which we've dominated the game and hit the woodwork twice. We've given up one shot all game, which is fantastic. Burhan has done really well for us in goal as well. Our record signing across our career. Unfortunately, Tofan did pick up an injury in this one, so he was missing for a little while. We've had a few injuries throughout the course of the save, where we've had to sort of move people around, make do. Cup quarter-final, we took on CSM Foxani, a 2-0 win in that one. But then again, after the cup game, we've lost 1-0 away from home. Damien Kozitoru with the penalty in the 30th minute. We didn't deserve it. We didn't hit the target all game. We had an absolute shocking performance. Anastasi on the right-hand side is 6.1, Kostasha 6.2. The midfielders are 6.3, 6.4s in defence. It was an absolutely appalling game, and we've not turned up for it whatsoever. Thankfully, though, we bounced back with a 5-0 thumping victory over the team who are second in the table in Sepsi. Tofan with a double, Anastasi with a double, and Marvin Toms with a penalty right at the end of the first half. Ganici, our former striker, came back and didn't get a sniff. We've absolutely battered them. A 5-0 win was fantastic, and I'm really, really pleased that we've managed to get that across the line. CFR Cluj, who, by the way, earlier on in the season, they did sack the manager. I did apply for the job, despite the fact we were sat at the top of the league and they were down in the 12th, I think. But I did apply for the job. I think we possibly could have caught Voluntari if we'd been the manager of CFR Cluj, but they unfortunately they said that we weren't good enough for them. So now we're going to have to go and win the league with Voluntari just to show them, who's better. And we went to their place and we did pick up the 1-0 win. It took the 14 shots with 4 on target. XG-wise, they were arguably slightly better, but they've only hit the target once. It was a very close game. We've hit the woodwork again. Marvin Toms with the Player of the Match award. He did get the only goal of the game. He's another one of the semi-youngsters at the club, 24 years old. Not really going to improve much, but again, we are a little bit light in midfield. And we are actually, or we have been until very recently, under a transfer embargo. There's been a series bid coming for the club for a takeover, which is just a couple of days ago in game, has actually collapsed. So we're pretty much at the end of the transfer window now, and I can actually finally sign people. I don't think I'm going to, though. I don't want to be signing people just for the sake of signing them. But after Cluj, we've took on, was it Cluj? Yes, after Cluj, we've took on Farrell Constanta, and we've picked up a 4-0 win in this one. Atanasoy with a double, Anastasi with one, and Kostash as well with another one, 1.5 XG. Again, we've hit the woodwork, but against another dominant performance from Voluntari. We then had the winter break. It's quite short here in Romania, so not too many complaints, but we have come back with a 1-1 draw against FC Arj again, who beat us earlier on in the season. We should have won this one, though. We've dominated the game. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the ball across the line. Husic with the goal in this one after Prentu had put Arj ahead. And then we have bounced back again from that with a 5-1 thumping victory away from home of SCSB. Kostash bagging a hat-trick in this one. Marvin Toms and Danut Tofan on the score sheet. Now, I'm really excited about Kostash. He's getting better and better. He is now starting to score goals as well. He got 7 in the league. He's a very, very good player at 17 years old. So that's where we're at, guys. And in terms of the Super League, we do currently find ourselves 10 points clear at the top over Sepsi, who do have a game in hand. But you can see that Cluj are still way down in 9th place. They are not a threat to us this season, despite winning 6 of the last 7 titles. They're just not a threat this season, fortunately for us. So we are 10 points clear at the top. In terms of XG, it is where we should be. We should be in first. We should have scored 1 more goal. XG against is bang on. We're in the right place. Expected points, we're about there or thereabouts in terms of that. In fact, we're slightly better off than our XG. But we are the best team in the league without a doubt. We've scored the most. We've conceded the fewest. We've got a massive goal difference comparison to Sepsi. And things are going very, very well. So today, 1,000th game in charge. Right, guys, we're back then. Sepsi did win their game in hand, so they've closed the gap now down to the 7 points with the same amount of games played. Hopefully we can win this game. They are the team who are in 3rd in the table, but it would be nice to sort of maintain the gap that we do have at the top of the table. In terms of the lineup that we're going to go for today is going to be Burhan in goal. Again, our record signing across the save, 1.6 million. Young goalkeeper from Turkey. He is improving, which is great. His pace has gone up, so he's getting slightly quicker as well. He's done really, really well. He's conceded 11 goals in 23 games with 14 clean sheets across the season. It's been fantastic. Gurbaninu, the right back, a homegrown player, again, 24 years old. He's done very, very well. His physicals are great. He's had a great season for us, picking up 4 assists. 2 centre-backs are Husic, who is one of our signings, the 20-year-old Serbian, or 21-year-old now. He's been fantastic for us. 3 goals across 14 appearances, a 7.44 average rating. Ayani, one of the club's youngsters, the 17-year-old. We've already spoken about him. Again, he's done really, really well. Mendy, as the left-back, the elder statesman from Senegal. The 30-year-old left wing-back, again, has had another decent season at a 6.95. The midfield 3, the anchor today, defensive midfielder, is Lincoln Barrero, 28-year-old Colombian. Another one who's had a good season. Defensive midfielders don't really pick up too much in terms of match ratings, but he's been really good. Now we have brought another youngster into the squad in Robert Apatre, an 18-year-old Romanian youth academy prospect. He's playing as one of the Segundo Volantes today. He's very, very good again. Physicals are great, his mentals are great, his technicals aren't too bad, but he's 18 years old. He's got plenty of room to improve if you have a look at his potential ability. So that's great. He's come in because we do have some injuries. Sabo has been injured for quite some time. Who I think that was it, wasn't it? Who else did we play in there? Tinchu. We played Tinchu in there as well, didn't we? Tinchu is out for quite some time as well. So we're looking to some of the youth of the squad. Toms is likewise. He's 24 years old now. He's not really going to get any better, but he's played fairly decently for us. Atanasoy on the left-hand side for today's game. He's done really, really well. Tofan is going to come in on the right-hand side as the inside forward on the right-hand side. He can use his left foot, which is great, but he's picked up 14 goals now in 21 appearances in the league, 9 in 15 for us, with a 7.22 average rating. So he's done really, really well. And he's out on the right-hand side so that we can get Kostashi in up top. There's absolutely nothing wrong with Anastasi. He's fine, but we don't have another striker really. So Tofan's had to move out there. Kostashi, again, has started to find his feet now, and he's done really, really well. So hoping that we can beat the team here in third place. As we get the game underway, still inside the first 10 minutes, it is Voluntari with the ball, and Ione now finds Barrero. Apatre, good ball forward towards Tofan, who's in, and he's hit the post. We've hit the woodwork again here in Romania. The woodwork seems to be magnetic, and there's a magnet in the ball for our teams. We always hit the woodwork. I don't know why. It was a great opportunity, though, for us to take the lead. There's a little bit of a kick clash going on, really, here. As now Sumar comes forward, finds Niku in goal for Craiova, who goes along, but there's nobody underneath it. Mendy brings it down with a great touch. What can he do? He finds Toms to Barrero. Now Anastosi, Aptre, Tofan. He's got Gubananu outside of him, advancing towards the opposition penalty area. He does get the ball into the box, but nobody challenges for it, and Toms has to pick up the second ball. Tofan feeds Kostash back out to Barrera. He's got Mendy ahead of him. Mendy with the ball in. It's deflected up into the air. Kostas gets his head to it and it's gone just over the bar. The goalkeeper was scrambling there. Thought that was going to drop underneath the bar for a second. But we're straight into another highlight, and it is Niku with the goal kick, which we do win in the air with Barreiro, but the ball falls at the Craiova players' feet. And now they with a rare attack, but Gubernino pinches the ball off him. He finds Barreiro inside to Toms. Toms forward towards Anastosi. Good ball into Kostas, and Kostas puts the ball in the back of the net for his 10th goal of the season. And we have taken the lead midway through the first half in what has been so far a very, very comfortable game for the team at the top of the table in Voluntari. And this would restore our 10-point gap at the top of the table as we look to make it 2 in quick succession. Or Craiova are going to equalise straight away. Abamidele coming forward down the left-hand side. It's a good ball into the box, but Ione heads it clear. And now Atanasoe gets the ball clear towards Kostas. It's well won in the air by Sumar, though, but Tofan brings it down. Finds Toms. What's he got ahead of him? It's a good ball forward to Kostas again. Looking to feed one of his teammates. As Toms gets it back. Toms in for 2-0. It is 2-0. Marvin Toms with his 5th goal of the season. And we've scored 2 in the space of 2 minutes. Kostas turns a provider this time for his midfield partner. And 2-0 up, 2 in 2 minutes is absolutely fantastic. And that 10-point gap at the top of the table is going to be returning. You may notice that we're slightly over the 2/3 of the way through the season, but we had to get our 1,000th game in charge. So we went a little bit further this time. Obviously, this league table does become another league table after 30 games, which is, we finishing top of this one. It doesn't mean we win the league, as Kostas gets his 2nd goal of the game, his 11th of the season, and we are 3-0 ahead now. And it's been thoroughly dominant so far from Voluntari. The league goes to 30 games, then it becomes 2 different leagues, and that's where the championship's decided and who gets relegated is decided. It halves our points. So basically, the further ahead we get in this league table, as now Craiova have pulled one back through Kalin Toma. It was not the best of goalkeeping there from Burhan. Really should have been doing much better. We've not defended it great, though. Let's be honest. We've let Toma run off the back of us. I don't know what Ione's doing there. Burhan should be saving that, though, really. So 3-1. Looking to make it 4-1 on the hour mark. Mendy with the long throw. It's headed clear, though. The Toma does head it on further, but Barreiro's there. Now, Aptrey, it's got a Gubernau outside of him. A good ball into the box towards that back post. Toms can't quite get there. Sumar is going to clear the ball. No, Tofan pinches it back. Kostas is in for his hat-trick. Dragos Kostas with his 3rd goal of the game, assisted by Tofan to make it 4-1 to Voluntari. And Kostas, like I say, he's really started to find his feet in this squad. He started banging goals in at the start of the season. He couldn't hit the barn door. But now he's in, he's scoring goals, and it's absolutely fantastic for the young man. Maybe somebody who I look to take on with me to the next nation, which is coincidentally is Bulgaria. Well cut out there by Ione, looking to feed Kostas, who is a tall man. He's 6 foot odd, but he can't quite win the header. And now Vlado is in behind, pulls it across for Torok, who does make it 4-2. So we've conceded 2 goals, which is not great considering how few goals we've conceded all season. I think it's the first time we've conceded 2 in a game for quite some time. Burhan's not really having the best of games. Neither is the defence, really, but we're flying high at the top of the league. You can't really be too critical of them, can you? As we approach the end of the game, it's Niku with the goal kick. It's won in the air, though, by the Voluntari, but they have pinched the ball back. That's just a hopeful ball over the top, and Husic cuts it out, finds Gubernino to Tofan, forward towards Kostas. Has he got any support? He's surrounded by players, comes back to Tofan. Tofan with a great through ball, and it's a good save by Niku. It was a fantastic ball there by Tofan. We just need the referee to blow the whistle now to confirm our fantastic win, 4-2 win. Thoroughly deserved. Disappointing to concede 2 goals in the way that we did, but still a win is a win, and we are now back to 10 points clear at the top of the table. Sepsi do still have a game in hand, though. So with 6 games of the regular league table remaining, we are on course to finish top of that. We're going to come back possibly when the league table does split. We'll come back for the first game of the second part of the season, if you know what I mean. We'll see where we're at in terms of points. and then hopefully we're just going to cruise to the title after that. Guys, thank you for being here. Sorry for the slightly longer episode. Of course, it's our 1,000th game in management. It's been a fantastic journey, and I'm really enjoying it. We're a third. It's took us 1,000 games to get to just about a third of the way through our journey, but things have started to speed up in the last couple of seasons. With it looks like going to be 3 league titles in a row in 3 different nations, which is fantastic. But guys, thank you very much for the continued support throughout this series. I do hope you're enjoying it, and if you are, please remember to hit that like button for me. And if you're not subscribed, then do so, please. Thank you very much. I'll be back in the next episode, though, guys, where, like I said, we'll come back when the league does split. But thanks for being here, guys, and I'll see you all next time.